Andrade.
I don't blame WWE for this one, bro. 3 days, they could have pushed him when they re-signed him. But I guess, you know, 2 and 2 can't like really stick together all the time.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
So Jay back here another video. Today we're about to be reacting to a video by Cultaholic Wrestling. The video is going to be on 10 wrestlers WWE regretted signing. Bruh, I mean, it's a lot they probably regret signing because either nothing ended up happening or they put themselves in some type of drama. But yeah, there's various reasons WWE could just end up like regretting signing a guy. But let's get into it and see what's on the list. But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the WWE content. I got more WWE content in the WWE tab in my playlist. But let's do it.
WWE Raven. Tired of working in a non-wrestling capacity, Scott Levy willingly left WWE in 1994, ditching the Johnny Polo character as he sought to reinvent himself elsewhere. Landing in ECW, Levy completely overhauled his entire act by becoming Raven. A big fish in Paul Heyman's relatively small pond, Raven then parlayed his ECW success into an inconsistent stint with WCW. Growing disillusioned there, he eventually asked to be let go and went back to ECW, but only until he was legally allowed to join WWE, per the terms of his WCW release. Levy believed his second spell with WWE would be the big money-making main event run that he'd long hoped for, but his hopes were immediately dashed when Michael Hayes informed him that Vince McMahon had pondered out loud who the F hired Johnny Polo when discussing Raven's future creative plans during a booking meeting. I mean, his fate was pretty much sealed right then and there, wasn't it? Raven managed to stick around for a—
Damn. It's already worse when Vince McMahon saying who hired this guy again. Bro, at that point, I would feel so goddamn disrespected. But you know, what are you gonna do at that point? Because this is at that time, this is the only biggest wrestling, you know, like company in the world, and the boss doesn't like you. Your fate was like kind of sealed. I mean, I know people have like New Japan Wrestling and shit, but bro, you can't really go out on just like wrestling out there. And then WWE was like the biggest thing in America.
Couple of years and did some fun stuff in the hardcore scene, but it was evident that the boss never wanted him there in the first place. Number 9, Tiger Ali Singh. During his tenure as WWE's head of talent relations, Jim Ross signed many performers who would become major stars and make the company and themselves a ton of money. But nobody bats 1,000, and while good old JR could be proud of securing the services of the likes of Steve Austin, Mick Foley, Randy Orton, John Cena, and many, many, many more, there were still some people he regretted offering deals to. One such wrestler was Tiger Ali Singh, whom Ross called the worst person he ever signed. JR said that Tiger Ali Singh, who was the son of Tiger Jeet Singh, was a smart, good-looking kid that Vince McMahon had hoped would help them in emerging international markets, but he was lousy as a wrestler and couldn't connect with the audience. He also attempted to negotiate first-class travel for tours, semi-successfully as he got it for the return leg of his trip, and alienated the boys in the back with his attitude. Although, to be fair, Singh would later claim he suffered racist abuse in the workplace, so, you know. Singh would also later sue WWE for several $1 million after suffering a supposedly career-ending injury while on assignment in Puerto Rico. So, yeah, all in all, it really wasn't a good signing, was it?
Yeesh. I mean, well, I guess this is like a good thing that he just didn't kind of really stay in WWE. I don't know why, bro. Like, it's always annoying me, like back in the day, like how Vince McMahon always think one wrestler will like open up the market to like another thing, and it never ends up doing anything. Just like how they thought recently, I forgot that one guy in Saudi Arabia. I guess he was from there. Or he was a descent from there. I forgot that guy's name. He was a part of the Maximum Male Models, and in the later half of his WWE career, and they thought he was about to like bring a spark to it. He was undefeated until they jobbed him out.
Number 8, Andrade. Competition is, generally speaking, a great thing for the professional wrestling industry. The emergence of All Elite Wrestling has been a positive for both fans who are seeking an alternative to WWE, as well as for the wrestlers themselves who are looking to make a living doing what they do. Such as Andrade, who joined Tony Khan's promotion after being released by WWE in 2021. El Idolo wrestled for AEW until December of 2023, before resurfacing in WWE as an entrant in the 2024 Royal Rumble. For the next 18 months, the former NXT champion did shockingly little that was memorable, outside of a match at WrestleMania teaming with Rey Mysterio in a best-of-7 series with Carmelo Hayes. Andrade then departed WWE in September of 2025. He was reportedly fired after violating the company's wellness policy on numerous occasions. Reports after his departure suggested WWE...
Man, and nowadays, you know, getting violating the fucking wellness policy, they taking it easy on you. Shit, I don't blame WWE for this one, bro. I mean, Andrade was... I do get annoyed that like he could have like had more potential than this, you know, like kind of like more wrestling. He's a great wrestler. Like he showed like he's a good wrestler already. They could have pushed him like back in his NXT days. They could have pushed him when they re-signed him. But I guess, you know, 2 and 2 can't like really stick together all the time. But that's my take on it.
WWE had a bit of buyer's remorse when it came to Andrade, having believed initially that his jump from AEW would have been a huge deal and he would have been perceived as a major star like CM Punk or Cody Rhodes. They didn't come close to getting that return on their investment, and Andrade subsequently waltzed right back into AEW. Number 7, Chris Harris.
Low key, I'm surprised they let him walk back into like AEW. I mean, I guess, you know, they were willing to like accept him back and, you know, forgive everything because he got into a fight. He got into a lot of shit, and then I don't know if he badmouthed the company, but I'm surprised because that's like a quick ass span of a time where a wrestler was just back in one spot and then shot back to the other company.
Before AEW came along and before everything went terribly wrong with TNA, it was Dixie Carter's promotion that was providing WWE with the stiffest competition. They were also developing talent that WWE would snap up further down the road, as they did with Chris Harris. Wildcat had been a big player for TNA as one half of the America's Most Wanted tag team. After splitting from James Storm, Harris had shown in their resultant feud that he had the tools to be a singles star too, and it was no great shock that he opted to try his luck in WWE.
Oh, no.
He wasn't, as things turned out, so lucky. Renamed Braden Walker and given a very unflattering singlet to wrestle in, his ECW run amounted to 2 television matches and 1 infamously awful pre-tape promo. 2 days after the second of those matches, he was unceremoniously released. Reports suggested Harris had a lot of heat backstage due to how he carried himself, even if nobody could pinpoint something he'd specifically done to earn that rep. And Harris, for his part, felt as though he was doomed from the start after being thrown on TV with no rhyme or reason. As much as WWE may have regretted hiring Harris, I'm willing to bet that he regrets signing with them just that little bit much more. Number 6, Nathan Jones.
Bro, I low-key remember that fucking promo. That shit was horrible. He talking about Braden Walker, bro. It was just so boring, bro. I just remember the name because of that infamous promo, bro.
You don't have to look at Nathan Jones twice to understand why WWE, and specifically Vince McMahon, let's be serious, would think that they had a money maker.
Oh, yo, this was a guy's name that I couldn't remember in the last, like, video that I reacted to in the Wrestlers. It was about something. I forgot what it was, but I couldn't remember this nigga's name.
Star on their hands. Standing close to 7 feet tall and tipping the scales at a shredding 320 pounds, Jones sure did pass the so-called airport test. Not only that, he had an intriguing built-in backstory, having served 7 years in Australia's infamous Boggo Road prison after committing a string of armed robberies in his homeland. Unfortunately, Jones was not only green, causing frustration with his fellow wrestlers, road agents, and the creative team, and causing his withdrawal from a planned tag match at WrestleMania 19, but he hated to travel too. Shipped back to developmental to learn how to work, Nathan was brought back to SmackDown months later to be part of a monster squad that also included Brock Lesnar, Big Show, and Matt Morgan. A personal McMahon pet project who likely would have gotten a major push if he'd have stuck around, Jones up and quit the company before a house show in Perth instead. No one was exactly surprised,
stupid.
but they were
bro, if McMahon's behind you, you better take advantage of that. Like, bro, I mean, if you go be a star in the company or whatever, and Vince McMahon likes you, I advise you to just take advantage of that, bro. Just like Austin Theory took advantage of it, like in recent time before, like, you know, Vince McMahon was let go from the company, or you know, he up and just relinquished all his control. But like, Nigga, like, you had it all in your hands and you just up and quit? What?
Utterly disappointed in how badly the Nathan Jones experiment had failed. Number 5, Chris Jericho. Like many who were mired in WCW's mid-card pack, Chris Jericho got tired of repeatedly bashing his head on the glass ceiling. Realizing he was never going to fulfill his potential while under Eric Bischoff's employ, and with top stars like Goldberg flat out refusing to work with him, Jericho decided to try his chances in WWE and left WCW in the summer of 1999. His debut face-off with The Rock might be regarded as legendary by some, but Y2J quickly made enemies behind the scenes. He irked The Undertaker by delivering a promo the dead man felt buried him, whilst the various members of D-Generation X had surmised that the former Cruiserweight champion just didn't know how to work. After accidentally giving Chyna a shiner during a match, Vince McMahon hauled Jericho into his office and read him the riot act, telling Jericho that he'd been sold a bill of goods by signing him and that he wasn't worth the paper his contract was printed.
Yeah, maybe this is why like he always like talk about like regretting, kind of signing with WWE in the beginning, because they tell me all of this and I'm hearing all of this shit. Goddamn. I mean, I don't know if that little whole shiner of him giving Chyna a black eye was his fault or so. I don't know. Back in the day it was weird, but like, I mean, D-Generation giving everybody a hard time back then was like the norm, bro.
On. Jericho turned it around after that humbling dressing down, of course, and would become a major player just a few months later, but highly influential people had written him off before he got there. Number 4, Sin Cara.
Don't write people off.
A huge draw in Mexico who had a spectacular, awe-inspiring style, it was easy to see why WWE would want to sign Mystico, no doubt thinking they'd finally found the next Rey Mysterio, despite the next Rey Mysterio always being Rey Mysterio. One of the first big signings of Paul Levesque's time in charge of talent relations, Mystico was brought in as Sin Cara and allowed to bypass the prerequisite spell and developmental prior to debuting on the post-WrestleMania 27 episode of Raw. The problems then emerged quickly, as Sin Cara clearly wasn't used to the WWE ring, nor did he have the type of opponents that knew his repertoire and would facilitate good matches. The incessant botches were one thing, but then the Masked Man got hit with a wellness policy strike just a few months into his WWE.
Yeah, I bet they regret like not putting him through developmental like at all now, because like he could have been a more better wrestler than he was. I know they finally decided to send him down to developmental. That was with another wrestler under the damn table, and they fired the original Sin Cara. But man, I think their mistakes they always saying this wrestler's gonna be the next like Rey Mysterio or the next like superstar that was already named. Let a wrestler be their own man. Let a wrestler be their own person. Make them, be their own person essentially, bro. And just let them be a star. Stop trying to make them into this next like wrestler.
Career. Several months after that, he ruptured his patella tendon at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, putting him on the shelf for half a year. And then the rest of his WWE run was defined by further botches, injuries, and accusations that he had an inflated ego and could be hard to deal with. The good news was they had another Sin Cara just waiting in the wings. That was handy, wasn't it? Number 3, Scott Steiner. When WWE bought WCW in March of 2001 and forged ahead with the ill-fated Invasion storyline, wrestling fans were hoping to see major stars from the two promotions competing against each other. Unfortunately, many of the headliners on WCW's roster had guaranteed contracts with parent company Time Warner and wouldn't be joining the festivities. This included the man who dropped the WCW World Heavyweight title to Booker T on the final edition of Nitro. Though Scott Steiner, like just about everyone else, would find his way to WWE eventually, albeit with a knackered back and suffering from drop foot syndrome, seriously hindering what he could do physically. Hired in late 2002 and hyped as a marquee signing, Big Papa Pump's first order of business was a feud with World Heavyweight Champion Triple H. The build to their first meeting at the Royal Rumble was very entertaining stuff, it must be said, but then the bell rang.
I'm not gonna cap. Holy fucking steroids. Jesus Christ. That nigga, bro, if a nigga's arm like looks like that, it gotta be steroids.
Game and the genetic freak completely stunk the joint out and didn't exactly redeem themselves in the rematch at No Way Out. Per Bruce Pritchard, McMahon expressed early buyer's remorse, and Steiner, who was on a healthy downside guarantee, spent the rest of his WWE tenure alternatively feuding and teaming with Test. Number 2, Buff Bagwell. One of the bigger stars WWE was able to secure for the invasion was Buff Bagwell. Buff came into WWE with a reputation of being difficult to deal with, and it's safe to say he lived up to that reputation and then some. Buff thought that he had the stuff, but what he really had was a nuclear amount of locker room heat, which he managed to accrue in record time. Not only did he show up late to mandatory training sessions for the WCW guys to get used to the WWE ring, he was said to be the only one not taking them seriously while they were in progress, and he picked and lost a fight with Gregory Helms during one of them for...
What? You lost the fight to Mr. Helms, man. The Hurricane whooped your ass, bro. This is, yeah, that's the one thing you can't do. Like, you can't just come to like a new company or, you know, even if you're, if you're a wrestler from another company coming to another company, you can't get people angry backstage. That's just like a new employee coming into some new fucking area thinking they're the shit, and you know, they just start fucking talking shit all the time, and it never ends up working with people liking you, bro. Yeah, and you're never gonna have anywhere where to go, and you're never gonna have a safe net.
No good reason. His one televised WWE match against Booker T was rotten, and the crowd's reaction to it supposedly convinced WWE to cancel a full-on WCW reboot. Buff also showed up late to his one and only house show appearance and had his mother call the talent relations department to complain about his travel arrangements. Bagwell lasted a grand total of 9 days on the road before WWE opted to cut their losses. And number 1, Eugene. After an age grafting for developmental territory Ohio Valley Wrestling as a serious technical wrestler, Nick Dinsmore realized his ticket to main roster stardom was to create a memorable character. Eugene was certainly that, and Eric Bischoff's kayfabe nephew was a major star on Raw for a little bit of a while there. Over time, however...
I mean, I get you gotta create some sort of memorable character, but this character is just a crazy ass fucking thing to just come out of nowhere with. It's never before seen on there. There's a lot of characters that's always acting dumb, but like this nigga was legitly like had a mental, well, his character had like a mental thing going on, and you could really fucking tell he had the mind of like a 5-year-old. But like to put this on TV is just crazy, man. Ugh.
However, the Eugene character slid down the card while Dinsmore himself struggled with substance abuse issues. He was fired in September of 2007 after failing a drug test, but then WWE rehired him in the summer of 2009. Randy Orton, who'd been friends with Dinsmore since his own OVW days, pulled a few strings to get his pal a second chance. Regrettably, Eugene reported for duty in a physical shape that WWE management felt was not acceptable for a WWE superstar. He worked just 2 house shows where he defeated Ricky Ortiz before his lone outing on Raw, which was a quick loss to the Calgary Kid, The Miz in a mask, in a
Oh man, well, yeah, I feel like the last one was crazy because it was a lot deserved. I didn't know, I knew a lot of stuff about like the Jericho situation, but like I mean, it quickly kind of turned around for him only on this list. But like it worked out for the Sin Cara, but like another person under the mask. But like I said, it could either work or don't work. I really hate that like I said, they're always trying to make a wrestler into like another former thing of themselves. They're trying to make another wrestler have another wrestler's personality. Make them their own star, and you will be surprised. But hey man, if you guys enjoyed that video, go check out Cultaholic's original video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe on my video, and click that hype button if you enjoyed. Catch you guys in the next video. We are on the road to 650.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?